What is going on, Laker fans? Thank you very much for tuning in. Excited to get out another video here on YouTube and continue to throw out NBA content, Lakers content. I got a topic that I'm definitely interested in, and I'm going to get into it in just a second. But I do want to start off by just saying here thank you to everybody that's on the channel. Thank you to everybody that's watching. If you could please subscribe to the channel, would mean a ton. Closing in on 23,000 subscribers. Then we'll go for 25. Then we'll try to get it up to 30,000. So we'll continue to try to grow the channel, but the consistent content I know is important. So I'm going to continue to do my part on here. Um, Topic I want to get into today, this one's a little bit different. I want to spend a little time on Rui Hachimura. I think that there are some growing expectations from Rui. I like it. I mean, I think the man's got incredible amount of potential. You think he was a number 9 pick in 2019, got selected by the Washington Wizards. And there are a couple reasons why some of those expectations are growing for Rui. Part of it has to do with what he was able to do in the playoffs, which I'll get to in just a second. But the other part is, all right, you're getting paid now. And it's one thing to watch certain players, obviously contribute to a team, but they're just maybe you don't know all that much about them. Austin Reeves is a great example. At the time when Alex Caruso was the Lakers, was on a two-way contract, and he was doing everything that he can. And then there's the other side of it, players that you feel like, damn, they're just making too much. How many times I mentioned D'Angelo Russell last year? I would, for everything, I know all these playoff games, there'd be a lot of times where I would say, the man is making $31 million. You got to deliver. You got to do more, whatever the case is. You guys know how that all goes. So the reason why I say that and the reason why I set it up that way, Rui Hachimura got paid $51 million for 3 years from the Lakers. And I think of all the contracts that were out there, Austin Reeves got the 4 years, 56, which I think is an incredible value. D'Angelo Russell's 2 years, 37. Sounds pretty damn valuable. He was making 31 last year. You almost cut his contract in half. And the expectations, and it's only a 2-year contract, so there isn't this long-term contract with D'Angelo. Look at some of the other players out there. Lakers got Gabe Vincent. And then really after that, all the other contracts, either they're on minimums or they're just not significant enough to where they're a concern of yours. They're so short-term. Rui is the one contract that I do believe I think is going to garner the most. Hey, Rui is getting paid this much. You want to make sure that you see on a consistent basis Rui's production. So I'll get a little bit further into what exactly I mean and why I'm picking Rui Hachimura on this one, as far as just looking at players that are going to have definitely some attention that comes their way. So he signs the 3-year, $51 million contract. I thought Rui Hachimura coming into the playoffs. So if you guys remember, Lakers made the deal for Rui. They gave up some of those second-round picks. He played in 33 games for the Lakers. 9 of those games he started. He averaged under 10 points, 48% from the field, which is great. Only 29% from the three-point line. So right out the gate, it was my expectations for Rui in those 9 starts and 33 games he had with the Lakers in the regular season. I was disappointed. You look at Rui and you look at his frame and you just say, hey, if I'm trying to build an NBA basketball player, the size, the wingspan, the height, the strength, the broad shoulders, you're saying, damn, that's a great NBA body. And then, you go a little further into it. He's a wing player. He's a guy that could play the 3 and the 4, so he could play multiple positions. I feel like he's agile. I feel like he likes the contact. There's a lot of upside with Rui Hachimura. But in those 33 games with the Lakers when he got traded, I wasn't all that impressed. It was inconsistent. It didn't really feel like he kind of knew his flow. And then something really weird happened. Do you guys remember the Lakers in game 1 of the NBA playoffs were playing in Memphis? And in that game 1, he had 29 points. Rui Hachimura led the Lakers in scoring with 29 points. And as the playoffs kind of went on, these were the numbers that Rui put together. averaged 12 points a game, shot 55% from the field, shot almost 49% from the 3-point line. So Rui Hachimura found a way that when the moment got bigger, when the stakes got higher, when everyone was watching the Los Angeles Lakers, Rui Hachimura took his game to another level. He was fantastic. He was great. Nobody really had any complaints about Rui Hachimura. And at the time, the amount of money that he was making that was going against the Lakers, team payroll, okay, it's nothing crazy. So it was, wow, you're making Rob Pelinka look like a genius right now. You're making Rob look like this move was one of the more kind of quieter steals at the trade deadline. And Rui Hachimura did his part. Now, this is what's going to happen now in the offseason. In the offseason, Rui Hachimura made himself a lot more money because you saw with D'Angelo Russell, if you don't have that type of performance in the playoffs, just your market and the amount of teams that are interested, it plummeted. And I thought D'Angelo Russell lost a lot of money in the playoffs. I thought Rui Hachimura made himself a lot of money in the playoffs. And by making that money, it does change the expectations on what you expect from Rui Hachimura. I think the Lakers' success, if they're going to have success this upcoming year, it's going to be because LeBron James and Anthony Davis are healthy and they're on the floor. That's number one. It's going to be because there's continuity and there's chemistry, because one of the few times here with the Lakers in the last 5 years or so, they're bringing back a similar lineup. And that's not even a full season that they played with each other last year. That's just from the trade deadline moving forward. So that's another area that they're going to be successful, is if those two things, it's LeBron, it's Anthony Davis, and then it's the continuity and getting a chance to run it back. But not too far down the list there, now you're going to start looking at these individual role players. And I think Rui Hachimura is as important as any role player as the Lakers have. I get it. Austin Reeves, he's going to be a key one. No question about it. You went out inside and gave Vincent. Absolutely. I like Taurean Prince. I think is a really nice player, and I think he's not talked about enough. But I think he's going to be a nice fit for the Lakers on the 3 and D side of things. Rui Hachimura is going to have some expectations this year. He really is. And I could already see it now. Laker fans sitting there, and after one night, they're going to say, oh my gosh, look at Rui. He's amazing. He had 25 points. He had 9 rebounds. Look what he did on the defensive side. He was all over the place. AD was in foul trouble, and Rui stepped up. They're going to love him, and they're going to praise him. And then there's going to be other nights where Rui had 6 points, and he only had 4 rebounds. And I'm going to hear it, whether I'm on YouTube or I'm on radio or whatever the case is. I'm going to hear people saying, we're going to need more from Rui Hachimura. You get that less before you get paid. You get that a lot more when you get paid. And for the Lakers and this team, I think Rui's going to be a very, very important piece. I really do believe that. And I think a lot of this is going to start in training camp. And I'm excited to see what Rui Hachimura is going to bring to the table. But I'm also understanding that Laker fans and the national narrative and everything else, when players are not performing and you're playing for the Los Angeles Lakers, you're going to hear about it. So Rui's going to step into a situation that he's probably not familiar with, because yes, he was selected number 9, but ultimately at the end of the day, Rui Hachimura was playing for the Washington Wizards. They're just not going to garner the attention the Los Angeles Lakers would. On top of that, he's a player that has so much potential, and you see it in his frame and you see it in his body, and he has moments where you're saying, wow, why can't he just do that more consistently? But when you get a contract like this, part of the reason why they're paying you $17 million a year is so that you can do it on a more consistent basis. I'm going to read something off here from Jovan Buha. Before I do, a couple things I'm going to throw out here. Do you agree with me that the expectations are just kind of going to skyrocket for Rui Hachimura? That you traded for him. Let's just see what he can do. I think the performance he made in the playoffs, I think, convinced a lot of Laker fans, damn, this guy has another level to his game. Wow, what happens when he gets a chance to play LeBron and Anthony Davis for a longer period of time? What if he's just more comfortable in LA? The Lakers clearly used him the right way, and they valued his skill set. But how much pressure do you think's on Rui this upcoming year, and how do you feel about how Rui will take that pressure? I think there's a lot of expectations on him because I think they need Rui to be a really good role player in order for the Lakers to get to the level that they want to get to. You saw Rui in a lot of these playoff games. He was starting, he was closing games, so you could see how dependent they were on him. Jovan Buha put something out here a couple days ago. He said after investing heavily in Rui Hachimura this summer, the Lakers expect him to pick up where he left off in the postseason and remain a starter despite being a bench player during the regular season. So this is not just, coming off the bench. And don't get me wrong, I know there's unbelievable bench players that have contributed in the past. Lamar Odom, Manu Ginobili, go down the list. There's always bench players that come through. But the Lakers do not view him, and I'm not surprised about this at all. I think Anthony Davis really liked playing with Rui. I think Braun really liked playing with Rui. So I think there's a reason why they want to put him in the starting lineup. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean, okay, well, Jared Vanderbilt comes off the bench? Okay, all good. I don't think that's too big of a deal. I don't mind seeing Rui there in the starting lineup, but like I said it before, I'll say it again. He is now going to be expected to deliver. That's going to be a critical position for the Lakers, and I think he is actually going to be one of the more critical players for the Lakers this upcoming season. So big expectations for Rui Hachimura. I really think that kind of comes with the territory. It comes with the Los Angeles Lakers, and it also comes with a team that got to the Western Conference Finals, and Rui was a big piece of that. I think a lot of people liked what he brought to the table, and they're only going to want to see him grow, especially now because he's making $17 million a year and $51 million over the next 3 years. So, Laker fans, tell me what you think. I appreciate you guys tuning into the show. I got a lot of things written down here for some more topics that I'm going to get into. So I'll continue to put out the content. I had some people in the last show put in the comments some topic ideas. Please do that. I love that. That helps me out a lot. If I know exactly what is interesting to you guys, and you guys have a topic that you think everybody wants to talk about, please feel free to share. Thank you for being a part of the show. Please subscribe, and Laker fans, hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Thank you.